Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As promised, what I'm going to show you today is how to add pods to a reef tank. Now you may have seen there are many ways people add pods to the reef tank, and a lot of those systems that people use, they really call for taking the filter socks out, turning all your recirculation pumps off, turning the return pump off to give the pods the maximum chance to stay alive in your tank. Well, the way I do it is a little bit different. Yes, I turn the recirculation pumps off. Yes, I turn the wave makers off. But the way that I add pods to my tank, I think gives the pods the best chance ever for surviving. And I believe that using the system that I use will see very little loss in the pods that you're adding to your tank. So, with that in mind, let's get to it. So, what you can see I do is I put the pods in my sump area. I take the socks out when I do a water change, so I put these in here to just acclimate them to the temperature of the tank. I don't know if you get any die off actually if you add the pods directly out of the bottle after they've been in the fridge, and I've had them in the fridge for a day. But this is what I do. So I acclimate them in here for about 10 minutes. Then I'll do the water change. Then I'll show you how I add them to the tank. Alright, so I have taken the water out. I'm only doing a 10% water change, not put any fresh water in there yet. I'm going to add about 3/4 each of these bottle of pods, and I'm going to put the others in my cube upstairs just to top that up with pods. So the famous douche has come out, and basically what you'll see on a whole bunch of other information that's out there on how to add pods is just tip them in. I don't do that because that risks you losing a whole bunch of these pods down the filter into the skimmer. You want to give these things as much chance as you can to make it into the sand bed and on the rocks, etc. So what I do is I squirt the pods directly into the sand bed, into the rock work with a turkey baster. So basically fill it up with pods, and you'll see the first time I do this I've got a big deep piece of sand bed here. I'm just squirting those directly into the sand bed, and when I look down there I don't see any pods. Maybe there's a couple there, but they're all in that sand bed, and if they're in that sand bed they're not going down my filtration system when I turn the pumps back on. Again, I'll find another spot in the tank, maybe here towards the front. I'll stick the turkey baster right into the sand, and I'll squirt those pods right into the sand bed. When I pull the turkey baster out, I see maybe 10 or so pods floating around there, but the majority of those pods have gone straight into the sand bed. Now, what I like to do as well as putting them directly into the sand bed, I'll go into the rock work and squirt them into there as well, right deep down into the rock work. I want these pods going nowhere near the surface of my water in my tank, because you're just going to lose tons in the sand bed. Again, here we go, nice deep piece of sand bed, pods are in, done. I was a little bit heavy with those guys there, so I may have lost some, but you get the idea, right? Don't just tip the whole bottle into the tank thinking that you're going to keep all your pods, because you're not. Right? They're going to end up in your filtration system, in your filter socks. They're going to end up in your skimmer, and you want to keep as many of these things as you can. So take your time, pick a space in the sand bed, and just squirt them all in. And that's how I do it. It's as simple as that. There's no amazing scheme here. It's just as simple as that. Just putting them directly into the sand bed, and you will be amazed at how many of these pods that you're keeping alive versus just tipping them in the tank, right, and running with no socks in for 10 minutes or however you've been advised. You do it my way, I guarantee you're gonna keep a lot more of these pods. So that's how I add them to my tank.